No, Amadi must hear about this. Actually, the whole village must know about this. My friend is out there working hard so that you can live a luxurious life, a good life. And for what? For him to raise a child that's not his? Once upon a time, in a faraway village, there lived a man named Amadi. He was a hardworking man who learned several trades, including the trade of a merchant from his father. His father, Indubusi, was a very hardworking known businessman who taught him everything about doing business. And because of this trade, Amadi's family was well known and respected in their village. They had invested in various businesses and owned acres of land for farming and livestock, making them one of the wealthiest family in the village. They were the only family who owned camels in the village, which symbolized their high status and success. Amadi grew up with love in his family. As he grew older, Amadi expanded the business. He had many businesses, importing leather to supply factory owners and retailers. His business travels took him to many villages, often keeping him away from home for weeks, sometimes months. Amadi was loved by all the ladies in the village because of his braveness and wealth. One day, the maidens in the village sat down under the tree, hanging out. They often talk about him as the perfect husband for them and always wished to be his wife. I want to marry a man, a kind man, hardworking and brave man like Amadi, a man who will take good care of me, a man who will spoil me with money, said Uju, laughing and dreaming with her friends. Uju had deep feelings for Amadi. Whenever she saw him, she loved him so much and she would blush. Among these maidens was a very beautiful girl named Uma. Uju and Uma were best of friends. Unlike Uju, Uma sat quietly as others discussed their dream husbands. Uma didn't care so much about love or having serious relationships, but she was so beautiful that every man wanted to marry her or even talk to her. Her beauty had caught the heart of Amadi. As the sun began to go down, filling the sky with orange and gold colors, one of the maidens turned to Uma. "Why are you so quiet, Uma? Don't you dream of marrying a man like Amadi? A complete man. Is brave, hardworking, kind, and wealthy, a man who will spoil you with money." Uma expressed indifference and gave a small smile. "I don't just think about it much," she replied. Another lady leaned in closer. "But you, Uma, wait. Don't you see how all the men in the village look at you, especially Amadi? We all know he has eyes for only you." These words made Uju sad. She had been friends with Amadi since childhood. They grew up together and she did everything to make him notice her, not just as a friend. She would even go to his mother's house to help out, hoping he would see her in a different light than just a friend. Uju sighed, trying to hide her despair. "Amadi is a great man," she said in low tone, forcing a fake smile. Uma looked at Uju, noticing the pain in her friend's eyes. "Uju, you know you are kind and caring. Any man who will marry you will be lucky to have you." But Uju just nodded. Her heart was heavy. Meanwhile, Amadi was making plans. He was hell-bent on winning Uma's heart, no matter what it took him. Later that month, Amadi and his friend Obi approached Uma's home. He brought gifts and spoke with his parents, expressing his wish to marry Uma. The news spread quickly and the maidens burst with excitement. "Amadi wants to marry you, Ma," one of them asked her. Uju's eyes widened in surprise, but she remained calm. "Let's see what happens," she said in her mind. Amadi was so happy he would be marrying Uma. Before Amadi could finalize his marriage plans, a rumor spread that Uma was pregnant. When Amadi's mother, Nne, heard the news, she hurried to his house and found him with his friend Obi. "Amadi, the village is buzzing with the news of Uma's pregnancy. Are you responsible for the pregnancy?" she asked, worriness showing on her face. "No, Mama," Amadi replied firmly. "People People are just jealous of Uma, most especially the maidens. You know everyone wants to be with me, but I chose Uma because that's where my heart belongs. I have never touched Uma in that way. His mother, Ine, was not convinced. Amadi, my son, you should pause the marriage and get to know Uma better. There may be things you do not know. Just hold on a little and get to know her better. I know you love her, but my son, love is not the only thing. It's not enough. Amadi sighed, trying to stay calm. Mother, you know Uma, it's more like she grew up in your hands. She grew up in front of you. You've seen her become the wonderful lady she is today. She's calm and well behaved. I am traveling in a few weeks and I want to finalize the marriage before I leave. I love Uma deeply, madly, and do not want to even delay a bit. Seeing Amadi's stubbornness, his mother turned to Obi. Obinna, my son, can you talk some sense into your friend? He should calm down and get to know Uma more. Please talk to him. Obi nodded, looking serious. I have already warned Amadi, but he didn't want to listen to me. I guess his mind is made up and he wants what he wants. His mother shook her head in disagreement. Love can blind one to see the truth, my son. Please take some time to make sure you are doing the right thing. Amadi crossed his arm firmly. I understand your concerns, Mama, but my mind is made up. I will marry Uma. As night fell, Uma went to see Amadi. She met him waiting for her, his expression full of concern. Amadi, I heard the rumors too. They are not true. I'm not pregnant, Uma said, her voice steady but her eyes pleading for understanding. Amadi reached out and took her hand. I believe you, Uma. I know it's all lies. I know they are just jealous. I still want to marry you no matter what they say. I love you. Uma smiled, feeling a wave of relief. Thank you, Amadi. Your trust means everything to me. They stood together outside, the moonlight casting upon them, talking and laughing. As they prepared for their wedding, the villagers continued to whisper about Uma's pregnancy, and the tension grew. On the night before the wedding, Uju cried her eyes out. She loved Amadi deeply, but he loved her friend Uma more. Despite her sadness, Uju still decided to attend the wedding the next day. The morning of the wedding was bright, glamorous and cheerful. Amadi, his friends and his family went to Uma's family, singing and carrying gifts as they walked. Obi pulled Amadi aside. Amadi, my friend, it's not too late. You can still change your mind, you know. I don't trust Uma at all. There is something about her I can't figure out. She looks down on people like me, who are merely farmers or nobody. She's very corny. Don't be fooled by her calmness and beauty. You don't see these things I'm saying because you're always traveling. Amadi's face turned red with anger. How many times do I have to tell you not to talk about this, Obi? I am not changing my mind. I don't want to hear another word on this rubbish again, okay? Obi sighed, realizing he couldn't change his friend's mind and make him see what he's saying. They continued their journey and the wedding proceeded. Uma was married to Amadi in a grand celebration filled with dancing, laughter, and an abundance of food and drinks. As the festivities went on, people admired the happy couple. Uma, in a stunning dress, looked so beautiful like a queen, and Amadi couldn't take his eyes off her. Look at them, whispered one of the maidens. They are perfect together. Yes, another replied. I hope they have a happy life. After the celebrations, Uma moved into a beautiful new home with Amadi. The house was grand and filled with everything they could ever need. Welcome to our home, my queen, Amadi said warmly. Uma smiled, holding his hand. Thank you, my king. I am excited as we start our life together. A week after their wedding, Amadi was due to travel for work as usual. He stood by the door, holding Uma's hands. I'll be back in weeks, my queen, he said, kissing her gently. Please take care of yourself for me. Uma nodded, smiling. I'll miss you, but I'll be here waiting for you, my king. Amadi continued to run his business, traveling for a few weeks or months, and then returning home. Their marriage was filled with happiness and peace, and whenever Amadi was back, Obi would come over for dinner. They would laugh and share stories late into the night. Months into their marriage, Uma had exciting news. My king, I have something to tell you. you, she said to Amadi one evening. What is it? Amadi asked curiously. I'm pregnant. We are having a baby soon, Uma announced, her face glowing with joy and excitement. Amadi was so happy. He was over the moon. He hugged her tightly, his eyes shining with excitement. Yes, this is good news. Time to go on another trip came. Before leaving for his trip, Amadi, worried about Uma, invited his mother over for dinner to share the good news. Mama, Uma is pregnant, he announced proudly. I was hoping you could stay with her while I'm away so you can take care of her for me. But Uma quickly interrupted. My king, we have so many maids in the house who can help me with all the things, and I can also seek a midwife when the time comes. Let Mama be. You know she can't do much now. Let her rest. Amadi's mother looked at him, hoping he would insist she stayed with her, but Amadi, wanting to keep the peace, nodded. The rest of the dinner was quiet and a bit tense. The quietness was loud. Amadi's mother said nothing more, but the atmosphere felt heavy. The next day, Amadi left for his trip, leaving Uma to manage the household with the help of their maids. A week later, Amadi's mother decided to cook a special recipe of healthy soup for Uma. She wanted her grandchild to be healthy, so she made sure none of the maids interfered with her recipe. She prepared the soup, covered it nicely, and walked to Uma's house, singing a cheerful song. As she approached the house, she saw a man stepping out with Uma, escorting him out of the house. Amadi's mother stopped, surprised to see the man. Ah, Mama, you're welcome. This is one of Amadi's friends, Uma explained quickly. He didn't know that Amadi had traveled. He wanted to tell him about a business opportunity. The man walked past Amadi's mother. She noticed that he quickened his steps as soon as he left the compound. She turned back to Uma, standing at the door. Uma, wait, who is this friend that I have never seen before? I know all my son's friends. What is it you are not telling me? She asked, suspicion in her voice. Mama, he said he is Amadi's friend. Should I have told him not to enter? I didn't know him. But who am I to say is not Amadi's friend? Uma replied, trying to stay calm. Amadi's mother frowned, but said, okay, before turning back with the soup. Mama, wait now. Uma called after her, but she kept walking. Back at her own home, Amadi's mother couldn't shake off her worries. She decided to wait for Amadi's return. When Amadi returned home, Uma was over the moon to see him. A baby bump was growing, and she embraced him warmly. The next thing Amadi told Uma was that he was going to visit his mother urgently. Suddenly, Uma started screaming in pain, fakely. Amadi, I am feeling unwell. I think it's the pregnancy. You just came back now and you want to go and see your mother. Please stay. I'm unwell. I'm not feeling fine, she cried. Okay, Amadi said, sounding scared. What do you need me to do? Take me to the bedroom. Stay with me, Uma pleaded. Uma pretended to be sick the whole week, and Amadi had to delay his another travel departure. After a week, as they sat down in bed in the morning, Amadi looked at Uma with concern. Uma, I have to leave for my business trip tomorrow, he said gently. But before I go, I will seek a midwife to make sure you are well taken care of. As evening approached, Uma started to feel better. Oh, you look better now, Amadi said, surprised. I was very worried for you, but be careful. Don't stress yourself. Don't move too much. They sat and gisted until late in the night. As Amadi was about to go to bed, he heard a knock at the door. Who could it be this night? Amadi asked, looking at Uma, who was also surprised. The knock came again, this time with a voice. Amadi, it's your mother. Open for me. Please, Amadi, don't open. What if it's someone pretending to be your mother? It's late. I'm scared, Uma said, looking worried. Amadi hesitated, but then another voice came in. Amadi, it's us. Please open, called Obi. Uma, there is no way someone can pretend to be my mother and my friend. I'm opening the door, Amadi said, walking towards the front door. I'm coming. Hold on, please, he called out. Amadi opened the door. Mama, what's happening this night? You are scaring me. What's the problem? He said, no, don't worry, my son. But I have to tell you something very important. It's very important. Please walk with me, his mother replied. Uma, standing by, protested. Mama, What is so important that I can't hear? Can't you say it here? You can't take Amadi out this late and leave me alone. Ah, Uma, your house is full of mates. Besides, when Amadi is away, are you not always staying alone? Well, unless you are not alone when Amadi is gone. Amadi's mother said, her voice sharp. Uma cleared her throat. What are you trying to say, Mama? She stammered. Amadi interrupted. It's okay, my queen. I will quickly accompany Mama. I will leave Obi here with you. With that, Amadi walked out with his mother, leaving Uma and Obi standing at the door. As Amadi walked with his mother back to her house, she began asking questions. Amadi, this time, you didn't come to visit. If it wasn't for Obi, who visited me earlier tonight and told me you were traveling tomorrow, I wouldn't have seen you at all before your departure, she said, sounding hot. Mama, I didn't mean to, Amadi replied. Uma was very sick this whole time. I was coming to see you when she started screaming in pain. She was sick. She only got better earlier tonight. I was so scared I couldn't even think of sending someone to bring you. Oh, and she suddenly felt well because you are leaving tomorrow, right? His mother asked, raising an eyebrow. Mama, what do you mean? What's the problem? Amadi asked, confused. Now, I am even more convinced to tell you what I feel to tell you. Do you know any Emeka? She asked. Which Emeka, Mama? I don't know any Emeka, Amadi replied. Okay, Emeka, your friend, was here at your house looking for you, she said. No, I don't have any friend named Emeka. Mama, you know all my friends now, Amadi insisted. Okay. His mother began, telling him everything that happened the day she found Uma with Emeka. Mama, you worry too much. What if the man was just lost? So now, no man should come into my house because you suspect Uma, Amadi said, getting defensive. Amadi, my son, what an elder sees sitting down. If a child climbs an iroko tree, he will not see it. Listen to me for once. I know you love Uma, and she does no wrong in your eyes at all. She's perfect, but I am your mother. I love you. I would never mislead you. The guy can't be lost now. Didn't your wife say he's your friend, Emeka? At least investigate this matter yourself. Ask her about your friend who came visiting. If you don't find out anything, you won't ever hear me say a word about this again. Please, Amadi, I want to see you happy, and I mean well, Amadi's mother said, tears welling up in her eyes. Seeing how serious this was to his mother, Amadi felt conflicted and confused. All right, Mama, I will investigate, he agreed, feeling a mix of doubt and loyalty. He accompanied his mother to her house and they said their goodbyes. As Amadi walked back to his house, he started having doubts about Uma. His heart felt heavy, but he hoped his mother's suspicion could not be true. When Amadi got to his house, he found Obi still sitting, waiting for him. Obi quickly stood up. I have to go now. It's very late now, Obi said. Let me walk you out, Amadi said as they walked out together. When Amadi returned inside, Uma was sitting anxiously, waiting for him to say something about what his mother told him. And what did she say? She asked curiously. Amadi smiled, hiding his sadness. Nothing you should worry about. She was just worried that I didn't visit her. I have to go to bed now. I'm tired. You know I'm traveling early morning tomorrow, he said, walking towards the bedroom, leaving Uma. Uma took a deep breath and followed Amadi to the bedroom. Early in the morning, as Amadi was saying goodbye, he said, oh, by the way, Obi will come and help out with cleaning the yard and doing the gardening whenever he's free. He said he needs some extra work, my queen. But Obi works at the farm. He has a job already. There are more people who need this job than Obi. Why don't you just hire someone else? Besides, we have a gardener, Uma replied. Don't worry about it, my queen. I'm just helping him out for a short while. I wanted to give him money, but he said he would rather work for it. You won't even know he's here, Amadi insisted. As Amadi left, He started suspecting Uma, relating everything he has heard together, saying how she was reluctant to have Obi work in their yard, but he left for work anyways. Obi started coming to the house frequently, helping in the garden. He had a good relationship with the maids who served him lunch. Sometimes he would sit with them and eat together. When he finished eating, he would take the tray and dishes back to the kitchen. One day, on his day off from the farm, Obi decided to go to Uma's house. He went to the storeroom, took his garden tools, and started working. To his surprise, no maid came to bring him lunch or say hello as usual. Feeling hungry, he decided to look for food. As usual, he used the back door that led to the kitchen. He got inside and looked around but found no maids. As he turned back to leave, thinking he would eat when he got home, he heard voices laughing in the sitting room. He walked out to go back to his garden work, but paused, realizing he heard a male voice. Thinking Amadi was back, Obi turned back to the kitchen and started walking to the living room. Before he stepped in, he heard Uma's voice. "Oh, Emeka, our child will be due soon. I just worry because you won't raise him, but he will have a good life, you know. Amadi's businesses have grown so big, and our child will inherit them along with the other children we will have," Uma said. Emeka replied, rubbing Uma's bum. "But Uma, I am tired of this sneaking around, coming at night and leaving at dawn. I want you all to myself only. No, Emeka, listen to me." She sat down on his legs. "I am just doing this for us, so our children can have a better life and inherit good properties. So..." Uma didn't finish talking. As she lifted up her eyes, she saw Obi standing in front of them. She jumped up quickly. "Obi, Obi, how long have you been standing here?" she asked, her voice shaking. "Long enough. I knew it. I told Amadi not to trust you. So the rumor was true. This fool is the father of your child," Obi said. Obi rushed towards him to fight with him, but he quickly ran out of the door. Obi ran after him. The commotion made the maids who were in the maid quarters come out to see what was happening. They were shocked to see Obi running after a man. The maids just stood there, stunned. But when they heard Uma screaming Obi's name, they went back to their quarters as they had been instructed to stay there, and they were told it was their day off. Obi couldn't catch Emeka and came back, pointing at Uma. You are evil," he shouted. Uma tried to hold Obi and pulled him inside the living room. "Obi, listen, please listen to me. I beg you, don't tell Amadi about what you saw or heard. Please, I can give you whatever you want. If it's money you want, I have plenty of it. I will give you." "No, Amadi must hear about this. Actually, the whole village must know about this. My friend is out there working hard so that you can live a luxurious life, a good life. And for what? For him to raise a child that's not his?" Obi foamed in anger. "Obi, think about it. There is more than enough wealth in this house that can feed you and your family, even the entire village. But look at you. You have a rich friend, but you are only his gumming partner. If Amadi considered you a friend, wouldn't he have taught you some skills so that you can make enough money like him? You are just his handbag, a camouflage friend," Uma said calmly, her voice sweet and persuasive. Obi kept quiet for a while, looking confused. Uma leaned closer to him, holding his chain. "Think about it, Obi. Amadi doesn't care about you. Just think about it." Obi, feeling the tender touch of Uma's soft hands, held her hand calmly. "Uma, you are right. Amadi told me to come here to watch over you that day. When his mother came at night, he suspected you. Actually, Amadi thinks I'm his gatekeeper. He takes me for granted all the time," Obi said, bitterness in his voice. You see what I am saying? He has friends in high places, but he calls you a friend while you remain poor. He can't help you," Uma added. "So, Uma, what are you going to offer me so that I can keep quiet?" Obi asked. "Name your price," Uma replied. Obi told her that beside money, he wanted her too. "But Obi," Uma protested, "I am heavily pregnant. What can I possibly give you?" "Nothing. What were you giving Emeka?" "He was only coming here to keep me company and the baby. I get so lonely here," Uma said. "All right. From now on, I will keep you company until you give birth, and you will be mine after birth." Obi demanded. And so, a new secret affair began between Obi and Uma. Guys, this is just the beginning of the story. It's about to get more interesting. Don't stay away. Stay glued to this channel because I'm going to be dropping part 2 very soon. Please like, subscribe, and comment. I will see you in another video. Till then, stay blessed and positive.